It's Monday. It is 7 on the fucking dot. And that means it's Making Mogul Hour. It is Sir Vijano Alexander, a.k.a. King Cosmic. And you are now tuned into Making Moguls. I hope you've been watching because you either win with us or you watch us win. And today, I am very happy. I am excited. I'm elated because our topic is one of my favorite topics. Two of my favorite topics. And we're going to dive into some real mogul moves because the topic is cannabis and real estate. And I'm sitting here with none other than Joe of the 420 Realtors. So clap it up one time. I hope y'all are here. I hope y'all excited. Happy to have you, man. How you feeling today?
Good. Any day alive is a good day.
It's a good day. I like that. I like that. So we're going to get into this topic. But before we get into this topic, we like to start this show every Monday with our small wins. So we like to think about it as we celebrate all the big wins, we celebrate all the accomplishments. But in the every day-to-day, we like to help people recognize and celebrate those small things that help them to get to the big wins. So like, I'll say my small win of this week was just being able to like do what I love to do. And so one of my many hustles, avenues, so to speak, is travel. So I'm a travel agent. And this week I have currently still, because they didn't come back yet, 2 different clients on vacation. And it was real nice, just like making sure, checking in, whenever things went wrong, I handled it real quick, and they just, really just made sure they had a real good time.
Nice.
And it just was real nice to know that, like, somebody is enjoying themselves at Disneyland, and somebody is kicking back on the beach, and I'm making sure that they good.
That's good.
So that was my small win this week. So what was your small win this week?
Small win. Let's see. I had a lot of small wins this week.
That's good. I love to hear that.
Which one do I want to use? I don't know. I guess I'll get personal with it. Just an issue with one of my kids and got it straightened out with the school, and that was, I guess, for me
that's good. That's a great small win. Listen.
Whenever you show up to a school and you're the single dad, it's usually the opposite of
So to actually get a win, that's a big small win. I like that one. I'm happy for that. I'm glad to hear that, and shout out to the kids that we're putting on for. So let's get into this. Let's talk about first. Let's dive into cannabis realty. How would you define your industry?
Ooh, the real estate and cannabis industry. Define it as in how is it doing, or define it as in what we do?
What exactly do you do for people that don't know?
So cannabis real estate is anything that has to do with cannabis. Whether you need a spot to grow, whether it be a farm or an indoor spot, retail, retail front space, event space, anything that has to do with cannabis that needs help with real estate. It was something that kind of fell in my lap. I was already a realtor and years ago, and one of my clients was in the cannabis industry. I didn't know until after, and then I realized there was a spot there because I've been smoking since I was 13 myself.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm a big cannabis guy myself. So this was back before it was quote unquote, legal. Yeah. And no one would work with cannabis people for several reasons, not just that, they were worried about getting in trouble, but, your job is to, get 2 sides to come together in agreement on something. Yeah. And right away when the first hurdle is cannabis. Yeah. It's a lot, yeah. Yeah, and it's just, it's crazy how things have changed since then to now.
Yeah, I know. So when did you start?
So this will be 7 years in cannabis industry.
Okay. Yeah. And so
I've been doing real estate for 15 years.
Okay. Yeah. So you've had that background in real estate. Yeah. What markets do you usually cover?
New York, South Florida, Colorado, California, Texas, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania pretty soon.
Okay. So it's a pretty extensive coverage. And so now people know everything that they've heard, the buzzwords like real estate is like the key to wealth, and like everybody got to own the homes, and then they say own nothing, then own everything, then they're like put it all in your LLC, then put it in your name, then trust it up, then don't trust it up. And like, how do you like help your clients like understand?
So when you see these people on YouTube or Instagram or any kind of social media, and they're trying to tell you, this works the best way, that may work the best way for this 100 people, but maybe not this 100 people. So in my eyes, it all depends on the client and what their situation is. If they're already an established person or business that's expanding, or, if they're purchasing a home, it all depends on what their personal financial situation is. The safest way to do it, as far as protecting it for the future, and not having to, and legally not having to pay the taxes, is to do it in a trust. Because what happens is, if it's not in a trust and it's in an LLC, and say, anything can happen, and you leave it to your kids, now your kids have to pay the taxes on that.
And inheritance tax.
Right. In a trust, that's not the case. So that's the big difference between LLC and trust, or an LLC and a trust. One of the main
differences. So for somebody trying to like get into the space, let's say they're like, hey, I want to get into the legal space, like I'm looking to get a license, or I have a license and I need to get a space. Like, how would you like qualify these clients? Like, what would you say they would need?
A lot. Especially in New York City itself. A lot of landlords expect to see a lot of financial backing. So especially a bigger space like the OCM is requiring right now. Their requirements are, kind of strange, just because when you're looking at this, these are mostly mom and pop spots that are coming up.
That's what the project is supposed to be. The CUIRD program is supposed to be about. Helping the small guy get a chance.
Right. And the people that were affected by this war on drugs, those are the people that were supposed to be taking care of up front. But by setting some of the regulations that are set, is making it more difficult. Especially when you have a whole, 1,500, 1,600 illegal shops in New York City right now. It makes it harder for these guys now.
To compete, especially having to meet the requirements and then compete in a market where everyone else is just running around not caring about So it's a tricky space. But let's say somebody does have, like, they just, all right, I got the back end. I qualify, either like my grandma left a whole farm to me and I sold it and converted it, whatever they came up with, right?
If you're qualified, you have a license, and you have the money, I would, the first thing I would do is not go to one of the spaces that the OCM is providing, because unless you have a lot of backing, 5 million, 6 million, something like that. Doing it through the card program is going to run you about $3 million just to get started, to get the door open. And in my eyes, just being in real estate for as long as I've been in it, and watch other commercial spaces that are not cannabis, and how people that are started as mom and pops, and the small amount of money that's out there available. To these people, especially in the cannabis industry, where you can't go to a bank and ask for money. There's not going to be too many people that are going to have the money it's going to take and the backing to get approved by the landlord to begin with. So it is a difficult situation right now. That should definitely be looked at some point, and very quickly, because you're going to need, if you're just Joe Schmo, and there was not a, you say it's not cannabis, and you're just going to open a deli. And the rent is $15,000 a month, just as a number. You're going to need to show that landlord that you have, especially right now in New York City, several years of rent in the bank. Just because the way it is hard for landlords to do anything right now, as far as say you don't pay the rent or say the business falls through, anything like that. So the landlords are being very tough right now, not just on cannabis, but on business in general. And that's why another reason you see a lot of empty commercial spaces, especially in Manhattan. It's not that there's a lack of businesses. It's the landlords are very strict on who they approve. So they'll let a spot sit for 2 years before they choose somebody, just because they're looking for that perfect situation.
Yeah. Okay, so would you say that's the same case across all 5 boroughs, or would you say that's like more centralized?
Staten Island and Queens seem to be less of that.
Yeah.
Of landlords being so tough, like the outer boroughs. But Brooklyn is especially Brooklyn has gotten very tough over the last 24 months.
Yeah.
And it's because, to be honest, the courts are backed up. There's a long waiting list to get into court if you need to evict somebody the legal route, for both commercial and residential.
Because of COVID and then the whole...
Right. So now you have landlords that are being extremely stiff on who they approve. Right. So that adds a whole nother layer to the cannabis layer. And what a landlord will say is, oh, cannabis, they'll be excited. But then they'll pick a cannabis person over a normal person, but the rent will go from 15 to 25.
Yeah. I've definitely had to deal with that just doing events. They'd be like, oh, cannabis, oh, well, that's an extra $1,000 fee. And it's like, well.
Yeah. And it's just because they feel that the money, they think, everybody with cannabis is
got a whole bunch of money that's going to throw around.
Right. And it's actually sort of the opposite right now.
Yeah, because the whole point of the CUARD program and where we are in the history of cannabis is to let those mom and pop people get the first chance.
Right.
And so, I guess the market's really not reflecting that.
Right. I think, from what I understand, they're going to push off the initial application for like the general open application that was supposed to be coming up, I believe, in July.
And so that's going to be for the general, but for dispensaries, right?
Right.
And the cultivation license is already...
It's already
out.
Yeah.
And we're still waiting for all the rest of... That's another thing. That
if you want to cultivate, you can get a license. That's one of the easiest licenses to get.
But the problem is when you cultivate, you ain't got nowhere to sell it to. So.
Right.
Now you just... If you're a botanist, if you want to spend a lot of money on botany...
Right. And there's going to be a lot of waste the first couple of years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you really feel like you just want to grow to grow.
Well, right. There's plenty of those licenses. But, I mean, I think, moving forward, hopefully, we start admitting this stuff to ourselves, quickly, because I think the quicker the situation is addressed and fixed, or we admit it, we can fix it quicker. Right now, there's still a lot of people that are denying what the situation is.
Yeah, because they want to play politics and save face.
Right.
And, I mean, we are dealing with, again, people have to understand the game that we are playing.
Right.
This is not just, this is the New York State government.
Right.
And the entire, everything that comes with dealing with New York State politicians. Like, these people, these are just the people we have to deal with. And so that is, and I wish that's the part.
They're politicians.
I know, I wish that's the part, just like you say, we would admit to ourselves. I wish people would understand that, this is the first time in New York's history that we're merging cannabis and, both the clean and dirty of cannabis with the clean and dirty of politics. In a very legal way that needs to be addressed I feel, in a very honest way.
Right.
Because it's New York State. Come on, we're not gonna lie here and pretend all the most honest businessmen rose to the top. This is New York State.
We can name a lot of business people that came from New York.
This is exactly the most famous one is on trial right now.
Right. Exactly.
Again, this is New York State. Let's be real here. So in the having that honest conversation, as somebody who would be wanting to get a license, would you say this is like a wait and save kind of moment? Would you say this is get your ducks in a row business plan kind of moment? Would you say this is like a get out of town and focus on other markets kind of moment? Like, how would you feel about it?
That's a good question. I would definitely be making sure that all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, all the homework you can do, because this business is not an easy business.
No, everybody thinks it's just
selling weed.
Selling weed.
Yeah, it's not.
There's a business behind it and the industry that you're going into.
Right. And what people don't forget is you're bringing, different types of business together. Mm-hmm. When I first started dealing with cannabis, I had to educate a lot of my clients. Mm-hmm. Why do you want to open an LLC? You know what I mean? And I can understand why at the time they were nervous about it, but I'm like, it's going to be worse for you
if you don't. Yeah.
A lot of them were like, no, I want my name on this. I'm like, no you
don't.
I think it was not just not trusting people and all that thing. They wanted to say, like, I own this. Yeah. Right. And I'm like, I totally understand that. I get that.
But you could own it by signing the papers, not by putting the name on it.
Right.
And a lot of people don't, especially coming from the cannabis space where it's a lot of, like, hand to foot, like, cash business. Yeah. Like,
and it's not a real, there's other, so when you're doing a cannabis and you're on the street selling, that's a totally different game than coming off the street and doing this shit for real.
Because you have customers and clients for.
Right, not just that, but, when you're on the street, you're just, obviously the main thing is keeping yourself alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in business, real business is even tougher than the street. Yeah. Because these motherfuckers will do it to your face with a smile. Uh-huh. You know what I mean?
Stiff you right out.
Right. And it's not about, it's the same mentality, I think. Uh-huh. But the guy in the suit is the guy you need to watch the hardest, to be honest with you. Uh-huh. And
it's about a profit, and people need to understand that.
It's right, and the game is a totally different game. Mm-hmm. So when you have this guy over here that's been in this game for a long time, and now this guy is coming into that game, it's like him trying to come into the street game. Yeah, the guy in the suit. Yeah, he thinks he knows what he's doing because he's so successful over here. Yeah, but he comes over here, he's gonna come up missing in a month. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it's a similar type of situation here. You come over here, you know what I mean?
Into their world, and
right, exactly. So the thing that we have to do is catch everybody up as quickly as possible.
Exactly.
Because even if you have the OCM that's got your back, and all this. You're in the end of the day, they're not going to be holding your hand.
Fucking hand.
You know what I mean?
They provide the paperwork, they don't sign it for you.
Right. And, at the beginning, they're doing all this stuff to look good and to be on the news. And
optics.
But after that's all gone, it's
you that got to run the business.
Right. And if you want this to be a real, generational wealth move, you have to play it that way. You have to, do things differently. And do real business, like open an LLC, pay taxes. Knowing how to handle landlords or knowing how to, if money's short that month, where to go to get that money. You know what I mean? And how to, all that. There's a
building out your lines of credit, building out stuff with your creditors.
Right, exactly.
All that stuff,
exactly.
Yeah. And that's the stuff we try to preach here on the Making Moguls platform, is to understand that, in any business that you handle, there is the product that you sell and the service that you provide, yes. But then there's the business of doing business.
Right. And that's the hardest part.
That's the hardest part.
Because most people don't like doing that part.
Yeah. And it gets tedious. But that's the part that keeps the business running.
Right. Most people that get into their own business are getting into something they like to do. Uh-huh. Whether it's making T-shirts or, selling weed. Yeah. There's all that's the fun part, and that's the part that you're doing all the other stuff for. Yeah. The days you have to go in there and deal with the fucking lawyer or the accountant, or this money was missing, or this employee did something, or the landlord, this law changed,
was breached, or this law changed, or
right.
This inspector or that inspector, it's all with the rules and regulations of dealing with the business, and you have to. And that's the thing that people understand. Like, this is why people need to understand. You need to stop saying, like, for me, even with just the term LLC, I wish we would call it limited liability corporations so that people can understand what it is. Like, the reason that we get into these things, especially in the cannabis space, is to protect your assets and give you limited liability. Liability meaning fault, and to protect the stuff that you've been hustling to get the whole time.
Right. Because it is, at the end of the day, it is a business. And at the end of the day, I think the number in the United States right now is, I think, what is it? Only 3 out of 10. I think we're at 30% of businesses make it out of the first year.
Yeah.
No matter what business that is.
Yeah, that's just a stat.
Right. And you don't want to, say it doesn't work out, and now you're personally liable for all of this stuff. And now you're, $1 trillion in debt, and the rest of your life is over with.
Yeah, now you just got a fucking bankruptcy.
Right, exactly. And now you're playing that whole game. Right. When you could have just opened an LLC and put a shield in front of you.
Yeah. And again, the second part I want to say about LLCs and corporations and things like that, follow your regulations, because, like, you don't just follow LLC and you'll win the game. Like, right. There are rules and regulations you have to follow. There's, like, and that's why, like, again, this is why I brought the 420 Realtor, because as somebody in the cannabis game, I could go look for spots. I could go do this. I could do that. But the landlords is not going to, if they could get over on me and see that I don't know what I need to know, they're going to pull a fast one. This is New York. Like,
that's the whole business.
Real. Like, let's be real here. This is New York, okay? Yeah. And this is why you go to professionals. This is why you go to people who are accredited and know what they're talking about and have the experience to teach you, because especially in New York, experience is everything. Experience is everything. You can't come out of school and teach New York. Like,
no, that's, nah.
It just don't work like that.
I mean, these landlords are here to try to get everything they can possibly get.
Because this is
that's
the land of opportunity.
Right.
Your pockets is their opportunity.
Exactly. And the only people that really, and you can ask anybody, anybody that's in real estate, or anybody that's, I was born in Brooklyn. Anybody that's from New York, or anybody that knows business in New York will tell you, the only people that win in this city overall is the landlords. Whether it's commercial, residential, they run the city. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, just as far as, like, what was it, 3 weeks ago, the mayor was out there, we're going to start finding the landlords that are renting out to cannabis owners, the cannabis businesses, because there was this law that Giuliani put in place way back in the day, his first year in office, that states that if you're leasing to somebody that is causing a nuisance or that's breaking the law in any way, the city can fine you. I think it's up to $20,000 a day or something like that.
A day?
Yeah. Oh. So, but the funny part is when I first heard that, I started laughing, because I'm like, that's not going to happen, because he won't be mayor next time. And sure enough, they didn't find one. Within 2 weeks, they backed off of that and came up with this whole new thing where they're going to try to fine they upped the fine for the cannabis. But it's still not enough. It's not going to be enough that's going to make someone stop doing
what they're doing.
If someone
that's also another thing that's always just funny to me in just, like, politics in general. Like, a fine only does things to people who can't pay it.
Right.
This is New York State. If people come in here with money to make money from around the world. Again, let's be real. Right. This is New York. This is the land of the dream for the world.
If people knew how many people that have reached out to me from different countries, every state in the United States has reached out. Someone has, at least one person from each state, about how do I get into New York? What's the deal in New York? And I mean, it's like, there's been a flood that people don't even realize yet of people that have come here just to deal with cannabis. All these spaces that are not just open, but other, like, wholesalers and things of that nature are also here now too. So, like, not just, how it was back in the day where, stuff was illegally being shipped or whatnot. These people are, like, here. Yeah. So, like, the battle has already been lost. And there's not even been anybody talking about it yet, which is crazy. Like, people are too busy, like,
Right,
we're
over corners, as I keep telling people.
Right, it's kind of like there's so many. I never thought that I would like see that happen in New York, where we would just let people come in.
Oh, I saw that.
And take over our city like we did.
So I seen that coming for two reasons. One, in the real estate game and how the shift. I don't know if you specifically remember, because this is like when I first got into like real estate, like professionally, was when all of Brooklyn and then the South Bronx and like Queens and like Astoria area all got zoned from R2s to R6s.
Right.
When that shift happened, when like
that started with Barclays.
Yeah.
And then kind of worked its way
all the way out.
And like, you know, not for nothing, but Jay got paid a lot of money for that.
For a lot of, I know. And again, as you said, like the only people who win in the city is the landlords. Because like watching that happen and then watching how. Like, because that would sound my alarm in my head, right? Yeah. Because I understood I was privy to that information because I was working in real estate and I saw it happen, and other people didn't see that. But like when I was trying to like sound the alarms, like, yo, they're about to develop the hell out this place, like everybody wasn't paying attention.
If you look at just what's been going on since COVID started, and excuse me, and all the change between what's going on in Coney Island. What's going on the east side of Manhattan. All the affordable areas are already, that's gone. Like, there's already buildings, the whole east side of Manhattan has brand new buildings already set to go up. In the, you know, like those, one right there by the Brooklyn Bridge there.
Right on the other side. Yeah.
One Manhattan Square. Where, you know, they have a penthouse there for $80,000 a month. In the heart of the project.
In the heart of the projects.
And, you know, it's crazy to me because, you know, like I said, it did start with the Barclays Center and all the promises that were made there that were not kept.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be all this brand new affordable housing for everybody. Everybody's going to be living in this great neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. And there's, 280-20 buildings there? So, like, that's, you know, I mean, it's a horrible thing, but in 20 years or so, New York is not going to be New York anymore.
Yeah.
It's just everything that they've already set in process.
Yeah. And so how do you so now that we know that, now that we can like kind of address that, like how do we prepare? How do we strategize around that? Like my favorite thing is coalitions, is working together as community, because
that's the only way to really do it, because they're so big. And the people that are doing this, or creating these, you know, obviously the developers, they're the ones that are going into their local, you know, they're going, not just their local, they're going, you know, they're all the way up to the governor.
Oh, yeah, you know? Of course. These people got money. Like,
right. So the only way to even that out is to get a bunch of people, and not just with money, but, you know, vote. You know, vote. People think that voting is just, you know, presidents, you know, but these people that are getting in the local areas,
those are the ones that
those are the most important people, because when you need a new community center, those are the people you got to go to get it done. And if that person doesn't give a shit about you in your community center,
and he just got elected off of a favor for some other guy,
right? Exactly. His stuff, that stuff is priority.
Yeah.
So you've got to get people in there that are you. That are you make you and your family the priority, not you know, Joe Blow that lives in Westchester.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Again, this is the dream. This is the city where dreams are made. Yes, and I completely, fully believe in that. But you got to understand that this is the place that produces the dream, and there's a lot of production that happens behind that dream, and there's a lot of people like. Politics is run by money. Like, let's be 100%. Like, in a place where super PAC, like a thing like a super PAC can exist.
Right.
like you understand?
It's why these people fight to get into office.
Yeah.
And if you look at the type of people that are in office, The majority, not all.
Yeah.
But the majority, especially the older ones,
Uh-huh.
the reason they fight for it is the power and the money.
And the money.
And people are like, oh, they're only, they look at their salary. Their salary is nothing. It's all the other money. That's why they're living in these giant houses.
Like, that's why they can run around and say what they want, because
Right.
like they're not answering to you, because your salary is not what's important to them.
Right. And and protesting it's not just protesting. It's, it really is being on your community. It's really being on your community leader, whoever that may be. People like, AOC or Hakeem Jeffries or, Hakeem Jeffries is, I think he's a great example of, the kind of person that people
need to have.
Because, he came out of that community.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So he knows, and now that he's where he's at, he can make a lot of change.
Yeah.
Just that one person. Now imagine if you get 10 of those people. Just 10 of those people. We're not saying 100. You get voted 10 of those people. The change that would make.
That could change. And
that could change the whole community. That could change whole neighborhoods. That can change a lot. And I don't think people realize how important that is.
I really want to tap into that real quick, because a lot of people really do not understand that, like, local government set district lines, set
everything.
Like
school money, all
the allocations that goes from your local taxes. They handle all of that, and that's your real life. Like, the state government does things, yes. The federal government does things, yes. But your local government is what affects your life.
And that's the person that they're gonna hear. They're not gonna hear, that's the person that's representing you. That's going to go to, whoever they supposed to go to get things done. And so if you don't have that person on your side and they're not about your interest, nothing's going to get done. And that's why things don't get done. So like when you look at it, and when certain communities come out and do vote, there is change.
There's change, and then that's when a lot of other people get mad that, why is this getting done? Why are they getting first? And it's like, because that community mobilized around that cause,
right?
And they actually like put actions in places where actions would be affected. Like, it's not just about putting action. Like, yes, we can rap about it, talk about it, but like if you're not affecting the buttons that move the change, then everything else is fluff.
Right.
Everything else is fluff.
Really, it's a waste of energy, and all that. When the real energy should be going into, like, the reason why the cannabis industry is messed up in New York is because there was nobody, there was no coalition.
Yeah.
To step up to these processes that were being done over the last 2 years or so.
Yeah.
And it's just like. And there were opportunities. They sent out, the state were asking, for feedback last year.
Yeah,
about what should be on the card
license.
Right, what should be on the license.
That.
And I don't think anybody responded to it, but I tried to put a whole thing together with it, for it in Harlem and get people together.
I remember that, because I remember we had posted about it and tried to get some people to
get in on
it, and there was just
no response.
It was quiet.
If I would have said we're doing a smoke out on 141 and Adam Clayton Powell, we would have had. I would have. But I said, we have to get some work done, and everybody was like, whoa. And
I'm too happy.
Right, I'm too busy selling weed right now. I don't have time for that. And now look at the situation we're in.
And that's why, like, I really just want to stress about community and really coming together in a time like this, because New York State, again, I don't know how much times I could stress that this is not a game that we playing with just me and you, this block versus this block. Like, there's billionaires that's entering this game.
Oh, yeah. Corporations.
Like, corporations of trillions of dollars are entering this game. And this is New York State. You understand? Like, if you don't make your foot now, Walmart going to ship everybody in your block weed and they never buy from you again.
Not even just not even just Walmart. It's going to be, imagine when this goes federal. And what's going to happen? What's going to happen is, and
what's been happening?
No, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, I was gonna say Amazon will be shipping.
He spent $700 million of his own money last year in DC.
In DC, yep.
Trying to get the feds to clear it, so that he can have direct. So if you're not doing something now and you're not trying to build something now, If you wait another year or two, it's over. It's too late. So, like, you got to, it's not that it's too late for the whole system, but again, it also goes back to, who do we have representing us to defend us against Jeff Bezos?
Yeah.
To say, okay, we're not going to allow that in New York State.
Yeah.
Like, no delivery from Amazon weed in New York State because, you know what I mean? Like, who do we have that's doing that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who's going to look out for us? And that, it's all one conversation and it's all one thing. So it's very important that people understand what's going on in the whole aspect of the entirety.
What's really playing in the playing field you're playing in.
Right, exactly.
And how you could actually, because again, like, you can play the game, but we have a chance in history. And this is like my favorite thing. Like, for all the shit that we got to deal with for being alive in 2023, all the fucking shit, it's a lot of shit we got to deal with just for existing in 2023. I am so happy to be alive in the time of watching legalization take place in my lifetime as an adult. Like, like, it's an amazing once-in-a-lifetime thing to see, to have some kind of foot or say and to have it be squandered would be terrible.
Right. That would be, and that's my main concern right now, that, that is happening. And I feel like no one is paying enough attention. And I don't think there's enough of urgency right now within the cannabis community to be like, I just don't understand why there's no urgency. I think everybody's just focused on getting
on the money, and but that's the thing that I wish they would understand, the politics of the game, because that benefits the billionaires when you focus on the little money.
Right, that's what I was just going.
It benefits them because right now they're happy that the card stroke program is not working. Yeah. Because when they're like, oh well,
it's gonna
that's
make
not
their
gonna
life
work.
easier.
Exactly. When you're not in play, when you're playing on the gray market, because again, Jeff Bezos, by getting to the top, he literally takes losses. Takes whole losses, billions of dollars worth of losses to gain market value, market size.
Like Walmart used to do when they would open up.
Exactly. Like, that's what Amazon did on all their Prime stuff when they first got in. Right. And you can't do that. Like, you cannot compete for 3 years of somebody taking billions of dollars in losses just to undercut you in the market. Right. Like, you could take and again, all of y'all run some kind of, if you're in the cannabis business now, you understand some kind of sales and market something. So you know what happens when somebody undercuts you in the wrong type of way and a way that you cannot sustain. Right. So we got to be real here. We got to understand. We got to really, like,
what I would compare it to is, what we need to do as New York as a whole is to lock it down like it's like the city and the state is our block. And how you would protect your block, not by being violent, by using this in a different way. And like I was saying earlier, we were discussing earlier about going into their game.
Yes.
Going into their game and taking their game. Don't let them take our game from us. Because that's what's happening. And we need to be, like, at all costs fighting that.
Yes.
Because all of this generational wealth ideas and all these dreams that people have of getting their life that was taken from them back will not exist if we
don't take this moment seriously.
Right. And, it's a very serious time right now. It really is.
And again, I understand that it's a hard thing to understand when you're coming from a fast money game into the investment and legacy game. Right. I get it. It's different seeing the cash flow in versus the points on the board. I get it. I get it. We got bills to pay. We got lifestyles to uphold. But again, if you don't want your hole to dry up, and it will at some point. It will at some point. It will. Everybody know, if you in this cannabis game, you should know how droughts happen. Right. When certain things come down. Yep. Okay. And we're not just talking about legally. We're not just talking about dodging the feds and all of that stuff. We're talking about actual, like, being able to compete in a market.
Yeah. For a long, substantial period of time. And the only way for that to really happen is to make sure that the there is a strong enough foundation built, because this is New York City and they're gonna come.
They're gonna come.
They're already here.
They built the city,
right? But there has to be a strong foundation built, and I do not see that happening right now. Mm-hmm. And it seems like, I mean, if they were to open licenses to the general public tomorrow, everybody that has a license right now through the card program would be screwed.
Would be screwed. Yeah.
So
make their license worthless.
Right. It's worth less than the paper that it's
worth. Yeah.
So, and it's right around the corner. So there needs to be some more outrage, in my opinion. Like, people need to get on the phone. People need to get on social media. People need to go to the mayor's office, do whatever it takes to get these people's attention within legal manner, and let them know that that you're seeing what's happening. And I don't think people are seeing that yet. I think by the time people are going to see it, it's going to be too late.
They're going to be too late. Yeah.
So hopefully we get the word out there. Hopefully people start understanding, and it's about doing it the legal right way, so that they cannot come around and circumvent anything.
Yeah, because you got, again, the way how the law works is, if you write it in law, then it's law, and if it's not written in law, it can be circumvented.
Right.
And the only way, but again, the way how law works is who gets to put it in law. And as we've been
all goes back to the people that represent you.
Those is the lawmakers. Those are the people that get to sponsor bills and put things in there. And
anytime there's an election in your community, you should always educate yourself on who it is, who's running, and who to vote for. Because if you don't have people looking out for you, it's kind of like not having, it's kind of like being out there by yourself, So, and that's, you want to get things done. That's how things get done, and not just on election years. People just tend to pay attention to this stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That should be a part of, just like, okay. Here's what I would say: if I was to raise a society of aware individuals, right? You would pay attention to your health, right? You would pay attention to your income, both your work or whatever it is, your finances in that way, but you're also like your investments and your opportunities. You'll pay attention to your professionals, your lawyer, your accountant. Those are people you'd be listening to and having communication to. And your local politicians, because they fit completely. Just like you're supposed to check your credit score every day, check your bank account every day. You should check the weather every day. You should check up on what's happening in your community.
Right. And I know it can be stressful because it's always negative news or, things like that. And some, you don't know who to believe and what whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty easy when it's down to just your community, and the one or two, maybe three people that are going for that, that are actually trying to be part of the, trying to be elected. It's pretty easy to, just Google that person's name and get it. Or you can ask, about this person, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You know what I mean? And, again, I think, like, you go back to someone like Hakeem Jeffries and, how he came from the community, and now he's got a big impact that he's going to be able to help on his community. Yeah. And imagine having more of those people, how much better things would be and how much easier things would be to get done.
It would be a lot easier. A lot easier. But unfortunately, we live in a time where a lot of people, especially, and I realized that too, which is really sad to see. Like, it was really sad to see, in that COVID and the money that came out of COVID created a lot of complacency.
Yep.
What
I think was sad to me was there was a lot of people that there was a lot of money that could have been used in a more positive manner. And you look at, for instance, there's this girl that I like to use as an example during the COVID situation. It was somewhere in Jersey, and she was working at Domino's. And everybody had quit, and she was working this Domino's for like 4 days by herself. So she just was telling all the customers they had to come pick up, but she was taking the orders, making everything.
By herself,
because everybody quit because they were getting all this money and whatever, and everybody was hustling and whatnot. now those people don't have money anymore. Domino's gave her her own store because they found out she was running that store by herself, her own franchise.
Yeah.
She's got 4 franchises now.
Wow.
And she was just working at Domino's before before that. And all she did was just busted
showed
her
up
ass
and
did her
quit.
job,
Yeah.
right. And they sent her on a vacation and everything because they were just like,
wow, that's fucking crazy. Yeah.
And then
she was literally single-handedly responsible for all the profits that.
right. And then you had people that were looking at the short-term money again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And when and the sad part is, some people use that money for good, but a lot didn't. A lot you walk by and look at the Dior store.
Yeah.
Lying down the block.
On the block, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we go give them the money back as quickly as they gave it to me. Let me go give it back.
Let me hand it back. Like.
Right. And so it's like
now I wear it on the shirt. That isn't worth the label I paid on.
Right.
Like,
so that's not how you create the generational wealth. Right.
I mean, yeah.
Shaq said back. I remember I was in high school when he said this. It was the year he left the Magic, and he said, someone asked him how it felt to be wealthy, and he was like, I'm not wealthy. He's like, I'm rich.
Yeah, right.
And his exact words were, the white man that signs my check is wealthy.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, that's where I'm going to get to. And he probably could go by it. Like, he could probably get a group together, and he's right up there like with the Magic Johnsons.
Yeah.
And,
Uh-huh.
So.
Shaq's story I've been following for a while. One, because my YouTube algorithm keeps showing me like interviews with him and stuff. But, I've been following his stuff and like really how he's like for a long time just been like, because I remember he said like he went broke in his first year just because he just spent all this money. He didn't understand how money worked, so he bought his mom a house. He bought this accountants. Like you blew through like mad millions this year, bro. What's up? Like what did you think is, And so like.
But he's a very
he learned. That's why after that he was like, "Yo,
That first year has always got to be tough. I mean, that first year when you first get that check, man, that's got to be like,
you gotta be like, because that
especially at that age, he was like 22, 23.
Probably younger than that.
He was. He only did 1 year in college. So 20. 21. 20 maybe.
20. Because he was 18 or 19 in college. And then 19 or 20.
Yeah. And then getting that kind of check,
that's
gotta be crazy.
Gotta be wild. Gotta be wild.
But he actually.
That's what I'm saying. He
did really good with real estate. His house that he bought that year, his rookie year in Orlando, he paid $3 million for that ginormous house, and he sold it last year for $24-point-something million. Okay. So he did.
That's crazy. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. I wish more people would understand. Which is now I want to tap into real quick for the last couple minutes of this conversation, is in the real estate game, just in general, in the real estate game, outside of cannabis, everybody uses the buzzword that getting into real estate is like, key to generational wealth, but then we live in New York City, right? It's hard. This is the place that everybody looks at the prices and they're like, I don't even know how I'm going to afford my rent. How am I supposed to buy a property? Like, what advice do you have for people who are lost but like interested?
If you're really interested in purchasing and getting into real estate and like owning real estate, I mean, it doesn't have to be in the city. You know what I mean? Like even if you're paying rent in the city and you go outside the city, upstate somewhere, buy a place to rent out. You're still building. It's not as you know what I mean. You're still building something.
Yes.
And it's easier to get into. You can get places in upstate Pennsylvania, places like that, for still $200,000, $250,000, $300,000. I saw one the other day actually.
Okay.
So and they're good place, nice places, and it's going to go up. So if you're looking to get into New York City and you're trying to get, you really want to get it. You really want to be in the city in one of the 5 boroughs. Yeah. Staten Island is a good place to start.
Yeah. I did see that.
Don't get me wrong. The prices have went really high up there, but it's nowhere near the rest of the city.
Yeah. Brooklyn is. I want to cry every time I think about the fact. Like again, going back to that R2 to R6 thing, like watching the property value just shoot up, and then watching like all the like developers just buy up everything. Like I never forget seeing like one of the developers. He had a map of all his properties, And he did it like now that I look about it, it's sacrilegious as a New Yorker. Like, it was a map, like a subway map.
Yeah.
But all of the stops on the subway map was properties that they had. And it was like a whole train line of properties. Wow. And at first I was like, that's mad cool. But then I thought about it, I'm like, that's sacrilegious. You can't be buying up New York properties like you just buying up the subway.
I mean, you're not going to. I mean, probably the next couple of years, there's not going to be, I would say 5 to 10 years, there's probably not going to be, anything in any of the boroughs under, what are we at? Like, the outer boroughs are like 2,500 right now. So, for like a 2-bedroom, you can get far out, but, even that now, like, people are excited about all these ferries they're putting in place.
Yeah.
These ferries are, not for the people that are there right now.
Yeah, that's
these
for
the coming in. Yeah. And whenever you make it quicker to get to the city or quicker to get around,
the prices go up.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
So, I mean, there's different loans out there. Right now, obviously, people think it's hard to find, to get money because of what's going on with the banks.
Yeah.
There are, if you're getting something to invest in, like as a rental property, there's a loan that you can get that they do not go on your credit score.
Ooh.
They go on what the rent will be
when you get
the property. So say you have a crappy credit score, or you have a good credit score and you just don't want to
tank your credit for it.
You don't want to run your credit, or whatever the case may be, or you're working on other projects, or whatever the case may be. If you can get a property that has rental income, all you have to do is show that you'll be making over a certain percentage of that rental income. So say if the rent's supposed to be, the mortgage is for a number $10,000 a month, and the rent can bring in $15,000. That you can get a loan that way.
Okay.
So there are other ways that even if you don't have the cash or the credit, obviously I would always tell everybody to invest in your credit. If you have bad credit, we all have done it. We've all
last week to talk about credit.
Yeah.
And the person next week is talking about credit.
Yeah, credit. Because credit, if you do not have credit in this country, you're not going to be able to build generational wealth. Yeah. Because the whole system is built on using other people's money.
Yep. That's how you make money in America. Debt is the way you make money in America.
Yes, exactly.
You gotta shake hands and take money out of people's pockets to make money in America. That's right. That's the game.
That's how it works.
Or you sell drugs,
which they're making them all legal now.
Exactly.
So they're avoiding that part out too.
Listen. Vegas was already built. Okay, the mobsters already had their moment. Understand, man. And as I said, to tap back into it. Now, the one question I want to leave you off on, right?
Yeah, sure.
What's your favorite part of this game?
The weed game or the real estate game?
Both, just both. What's your favorite part of
the
working in your industry?
The reason I think I'm the kind of person, I'm very competitive. I grew up playing sports.
What's your favorite?
My favorite sport? It was football growing up. I was more naturally talented at football. I played baseball, basketball, football, track, everything. And I think I was just football was I was more natural at. Yeah. But basketball, I think is still.
That's that's how I feel.
But my favorite part about it, I think, is especially why I started in cannabis with cannabis real estate, was it was a challenge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was and it was helping. Also, I like to help, and it was helping people that no one wanted to help. Yeah. You know what I mean? And not just, I'm not just talking about black, white, Spanish thing. I'm talking about just as soon as someone would hear the fucking word cannabis. They automatically think it's a gangbanger or someone coming in. You know what I mean? And I'm like, no, that's not it. That's not 90% of it. That's not it. There's trust me, there's bad apples everywhere. Yeah. And there's always going to be that person that wants to push it to the edge. Yeah. In everything. You're right. In everything.
In the police force.
Right. Exactly. That's what I was just about to go. So I just think that it was for me to be able to do what I like to do and help people at the same time. Because people look at real estate also sometimes as these really grimy dudes. Yeah, trust me, there are. There's a lot. But there's also a lot of good guys too.
Yeah.
And if I can do something where I'm helping and giving back at the same time, like, you know, to me it was worth it to do that and to take that risk.
That's
and
dope.
I'm glad I did.
That's dope. I like that because I really resonate with that. That's why I do this. That's why I do Cannabis. That's why I do travel. That's why I do everything, is to be able to do something I love and be able to help people at the same time. So I really resonate that. And that's a Make a Mogul stamp right there. So how can people tap in with you? Like, how can they connect with you? Like,
Instagram, the 420 Realtors with an S, has all our information in our bio. The website is actually being updated as we speak, so you'll be able to get, I don't know, you know, we do our events and all that. You'll be able to get event tickets through there. We could actually be having merch soon.
okay.
And any questions you have, you can reach out, you know, DM me directly. Either me or, you know, someone on the team will get back to you within 24 hours.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, we're pretty responsive.
Okay. What would you say? What's next? What's next? What do you?
Ooh, there's a lot next. The next year, I would say we've already got pretty planned out for, you know, as far as events. We have a big event we're gonna announce next week. That's actually taking place in South Florida.
Oh sheesh, I should have tapped in. I missed my chance, man.
So we'll have more information about that next week.
Okay.
And it's actually gonna be pretty. We're bringing New York and
Florida,
Florida together.
I love that.
It's gonna be a panel. I mean, it's gonna be amazing.
Okay. Okay, well, I was gonna ask questions, but no, I'll wait till next week. I'll wait till next week, and we're gonna tap in with that. Oh, this is a personal question, not a personal question, but a question I do want to ask for real estate. But I do want to ask it in front of the audience. How do you feel about real estate investment trusts?
Trusts. Again, I think it depends on the person's situation. You know. Are you looking to invest in something that's for yourself? Is this a family thing? Is this
like as an investment opportunity?
I guess it would depend on what it consists of, because an investment trust can mean a lot of things.
Okay, I meant more like as the vehicle, as like
to use that to purchase.
Yeah.
It's the safest. It's one of the safest ways. I won't say it's the safest, but it's one of the safest ways
to get it to
if you're going to purchase any real estate, you know, especially in New York because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
But to protect, you know, against, say, instance, if you pass away, like we were speaking earlier, and you have an apartment or a house, and you leave that, and it was in an LLC, and you did all the right things while you were alive, and then you passed away, and you leave this to your kids, or anybody, for instance. Most of those people end up selling that property and not keeping it. Because they can't afford the taxes, especially in New York State.
Yeah.
This is a way to guard from that.
Yes.
So the trust is already in their name. Everything's already in their name. There's nothing to leave over as an inheritance. So there's not an inheritance tax. I'm not an accountant. But
please talk to your accountant. We're going to have an accountant up
there.
So talk to them about that. So
but definitely talk to your accountant. But I would say that in my eyes, that's how I handle all my real estate. Just because I have 3 kids.
Yes.
And I'm a single dad, so
yes, that's definitely what you.
They already take enough, so.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, that's really okay. I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. And so, last question. If there is somebody young and hungry, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I've been thinking about real estate for a while. Oh my gosh, I love the cannabis industry." What would you say would be their first step that they should take to like get into the industry that you're in?
To get into real estate, first thing, take the test. It's not as in New York. It's one of the easiest states to get a license. The test is, I think it was 77 questions, multiple choice. I would do that. Do all your homework on the broker that you want to choose that's going to endorse you, because that's the second step, is getting endorsed. Like if you want to be a real estate agent, not just invest.
Yeah.
So you'll have to get a broker that endorses you. Pick someone that works for your personnel. Don't just go because it's Ryan Sternhans or Corcoran or that may not work for you. I would say find one that will have a good mentor. When I got into the business, I was very lucky that I had a mentor that really, really, really walked me through everything. He was very good at his job. And I was lucky enough to fall into that situation to where this guy was willing to, like, we had a good vibe. And he was willing to show me everything. And so, like, I picked up a lot. And I would say mentor, mentor, mentor. Don't try to figure it out. You can figure it out by yourself, but it's 80% of brokers don't make it through the first year. Agents don't make it through the first year. So also know that. It's a dog-eat-dog world. I would say have a couple of bucks if you can saved up, because it's not like a part-time thing. Everybody's like, oh, I can start part-time. And you really kind of have to go in, jump in full.
Yeah, because of how the market moves. It's a very fast market. Like, I like to tap into that real quick. Is because people move every day, and you gotta like.
And you have to know it's not just about that. It's about knowing the whatever market you're going to be in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Things change every day. Like.
Right. It's in knowing the like, say how what's going on in the neighborhood, for instance. Just that alone. Is the neighborhood changing? There's a lot.
Yeah.
So I would say pick a neighborhood, stick to one neighborhood at first. Learn that neighborhood, learn the people in that neighborhood, network in that neighborhood. Go to this, whatever it is. If you're doing luxury real estate, get involved in whatever's in that neighborhood or that area, that market, and so that people get to know you and see your face. And social media. Social media.
Social media. These days, so yeah. All right, thank you, man. I appreciate this. This is a gem-filled episode. And I don't know how better to put the Making Mogul stamp on this, because we really dropped a lot of gems today. I appreciate everything that you said. I appreciate the conversation that we had, because I feel like there's a lot to take away from it. And I hope that people take heed to what we said, because as I said, like, this is April 14th?
Yeah. So it's I
can't remember what date. What date is it? April 14th?
Today's 17th.
The 17th. I'm behind. It's April 17th. It is 3 days before 420.
Yeah.
And I hope that this 420, you treat it not as just a time to get high, but a time to realize that the moment that we have in cannabis, and the moment that we can lose if we spend too much time high and not doing what we're supposed to do.
Not get it. Not educate yourself on everything, the rules, the laws, everything that's going on around you, because these people pay a lot of money to people that's their whole job, and that's all they do.
That's all they do.
So,
and they try to make it confusing. So
right, on purpose.
On purpose.
So you have to put in the work and be willing to put in the time.
And that's just the only way. I mean, listen, we don't make moguls overnight. We make moguls by sticking to the grind overnight, all the time. But taking time for yourself, because you need to take time for yourself, because this game gonna be here all the time.
Yep.
Your life is not gonna be. So find your balance, find your mode, lock in, and you either win with us or you watch us win. It's Making Moguls. It's Monday. It's been a beautiful episode. Thank y'all. Make sure y'all follow the 420 Realtors on Instagram. Make sure y'all tap into their podcast. It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. It's on Tidal. Everywhere you get your podcast. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you lock in. It is the one and only Sir Vijano Alexander, a.k.a. King Cosmic. If you can't find me, you're not looking hard enough. It's VE_JANO on Instagram, Vijano Alexander. Everywhere else, I'm the only me. And so, we out of here, baby. Happy Monday.